The alternative break program is not something a lot of Clemson students know about. I think my alternative spring break trip has been my greatest experience at Clemson thus far. So you have the opportunity to leave Clemson and see another part of the U.S. where they're just to serve and do whatever they need to have done. We went and we cleaned up a lake. My leader for my spring break trip is the reason I applied to be a leader. He left such an impact on me, and so I was like, I want to do it. I want to try. Going into it, I was very nervous and intimidated, but I had those weekly meetings with the advisors, and it prepped me a lot to lead the trip.
I do think it's a little intimidating.
Okay.
Like for me to be a sophomore and grad students come on the trip. How silly is that?
I've definitely been in the shoes of like I'm leading and having that title or position with people that are older than me, and at the end of the day, right, they're like there to experience a trip.
Yeah.
So keeping that in mind, I think when you have those thoughts of like imposter syndrome, but it's very much reminding yourself like, you did this training, you applied for this position, you got picked for this position.
It was so interesting to like have these students rely on me for the itinerary, for what to do. Most people on the trip had never been to Charleston, so super fun to show them around. Got there Saturday around like 1. We didn't have work that day, so we went to downtown Charleston and we just explored. When you go on an alternative break program or do any sort of volunteer work, you're there to serve and you're there to do what they need. We worked at Sweetgrass Gardens, which is a relatively like small garden in North Charleston. However, they're doing so much on it. The topic of the trip was food insecurity. So we planted 3 orange trees. We never planted trees before, and I think most of the people on the trip had never planted trees before. And everybody has so much fun planting and playing with goats. I don't know if you've ever dragged a goat, but they're strong. I didn't have a leash. I just grabbed the goat by like the collar. But to get them back into their stationary pen, you have to fill a red bucket with like some food that they like, and they just know to chase you. It was really funny. Kind of intimidating. No, don't follow me. And a group of students actually built the goats like a ramp while we were there to like play on. During the alternative break program, you have to have reflection. We would just reflect on our day's work and we'd relate it back to Clemson. And so we went to the beach. Each one of us bought a little pint of ice cream, had our reflection. And I think that was my favorite activity. It was just so sweet. It was so beautiful on the beach. Ever since I've been back in Clemson, I've been trying to contact the Paw Pantry to work on a reorientation just to get to know more about what food insecurity looks like in Clemson. I feel much better about my leadership skills now that I've been a site leader. If you really want to be a leader, you can do it. You just have to put in the work. You have to put in the effort. I would recommend the alternative break program to any student at Clemson. It gives you the opportunity to meet some of the coolest people you can meet at Clemson. They want to do good work for the community, and they're going to challenge you.